start the takeoff, startup stuff, see how that goes.
Welcome to the MiG-29. The NATO code name for this Russian fighter jet is Fulcrum. Let's get this beast started. Before we do, a note on key pressing technique. Many of the commands require 2 keys.
I gotta do something real quick. There we go, now I can see.
Always press and hold down the first key mentioned before pressing the second. Turn on the electrical power by pressing right shift and L. Turn on the cockpit lights by pressing L. Press the spacebar to continue. With the electrical power now engaged, you can see that the head-up display or HUD comes to life. Now that we have power, you can turn on the nav lights by pressing right control and L. If you're going on a combat mission, leave them off. Press the spacebar to continue. If you have an annoying beep, it's the RWR or radar warning receiver. Turn down the volume by pressing right Alt and comma. Next, let's close the canopy by pressing left control and C. Press the spacebar to continue. We are now going to start the left or number 1 engine. Highlighted are the warning panel and the RPM gauge. Press right Alt and Home. That's right Alt and Home. You will notice the green ignition light illuminate on the warning panel. And after about 10 seconds, the number 1 left engine RPM registers on the RPM gauge. Once the green light goes out, at around 40% engine RPM, ignition is complete. Press the spacebar.
I did what he said, it's not working.
With the ignition light on the warning panel out, we can start the right or number 2 engine. Press right control and home. Note the ignition green light and note there will be a 10-second delay before the number 2 RPM needle registers. Press spacebar to continue. In the lower left corner of the dash is an aircraft symbol that indicates the status of your slat and flaps, landing gear and air brake. It has 3 green lights showing the gear down. If the center circle is lit, you have a problem with the gear. Now lower your slats and flaps to the takeoff position by pressing F. F will cycle the flaps up and down. You can check where they are by looking at the gauge. The indicator now has 6 flap slat lights shown as bars and 3 green lights. Put your taxi light on by pressing right Alt and L. Press the spacebar to continue. We're now ready to taxi. Be careful. Look down at the stick and press and hold W to engage the wheel brakes. You can see the brake lever move, like a handbrake. Release W and the wheel brakes are released. For taxiing in a moment, we will be using the number pad plus and minus keys. The page up and page down keys only use 4 settings: 70%, 90%, max dry and burner, so there's no finesse. We will be testing the brakes using number pad plus just once to get moving, then pressing W to stop the aircraft. OK. If you've got that, we're ready to taxi. Press the spacebar.
What about the other engine? Do I have to start the other engine?
Now, tap number pad plus just once to get moving. On sensing forward movement, tap number pad minus to bring back the power. Press and hold W to stop the aircraft. Controlling the throttle is obviously easier with a throttle rather than a keyboard. Now, repeat this process but press W just to slow the aircraft down to walking speed. Now turn left using Z. The Z and X keys will steer you left and right. You should have turned left now and be travelling slowly along the parking apron. As you taxi, practice using small and smooth rudder corrections, Z and X, to keep you aligned on the centre of the taxiway. Maintain walking speed. At the intersection, take a right. At the fork here, hang a right. OK, turn left here using the Z key and follow the taxiway parallel to the runway. Maintain walking speed and remember, W is the wheel brake.
I don't remember him telling me to turn my right engine on. He only did the left one. So, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe you do it up here. I don't know.
At walking speed, you can see just how cool you look in the MiG-29 by toggling between the external view and the internal view. Headphone users beware. Press F2 to go outside and F1 to return to the cockpit. Rotate and zoom your view using the number pad or mouse.
I always like the MiG-29 as the way it looks. I think it always looks nice. Good looking aircraft. Same with the SUs, the 27 and 33. I think they're just awesome looking airplanes. If they had American tech in there, that'd be pretty awesome. Look at you guys getting all fueled up.
Turn right here.
Kinda have to. Nowhere else to go. Alright, turn here, X.
Turn right onto the runway and line yourself up in the centre. Bring the aircraft to a halt using the wheel brake. When you are ready to take off, press spacebar.
He must have told me to turn the engine on. I missed it. So, good thing I did.
Zoom in a bit using the mouse wheel or star so you can read the green writing of the HUD clearly. You're now ready for takeoff. If you're still holding it, release the wheel brake. Bring the engines up to full power by pressing page up 3 times. Note you will get 2 green lights on the warning panel to show the burners are lit. Keep central down the runway using gentle inputs of Z and X. Your speed will register top left of the HUD when above 90. As soon as your speed exceeds 300, pull back on the stick and establish a steady climb. Once safely airborne, get the gear up by pressing G and flaps up by pressing F. If you have the capacity, glance down and watch the green lights all go out. Congratulations. That concludes this lesson on starting up, taxiing and takeoff, Soto, Unit 29 Fulcrum. You can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key. You can also eject, hang out, by holding down left control and E 3 times. We'll just tour around a bit and try landing. Remember, G will put the gear back down, F the flaps, and B the air brake or speed brake. Whatever you decide, happy hunting.
It's gonna puff it because I'm going too freaking fast. It flies nice once you get it all turned out. It's very smooth. Has a good feeling of flight. I feel like I'm in something that's in the air, you know? It doesn't feel like a fly-by-wire type thing. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Feels good though. VR, this is gonna be awesome. Man, this is gonna be a new favorite. flying in VR is going to be absolutely phenomenal on this thing. That was a little hard. Blew that. Sensation of speed in this is good too. Makes you feel like you're hauling ass. Try it again. Okay, well he didn't have me do anything different than I didn't do before, so... Well, let's just do it, see what happens here.
If you're having trouble hearing me, press escape, go to options, then audio, and turn down the world and in cockpit sounds to 0. Welcome to the MiG-29 BVR Lesson 1. BVR.
It's this one, right? Maybe that one?
Beyond visual range. You will be paused in the same place until you've shot down the first target.
That was wrong. I knew that was right to keep that one at 100%. So in cockpit.
So no need to worry about the throttle and stick. I am using the English language hub for this demo. This can be changed in the game options. If at any stage you feel rushed, just pause the mission by pressing pause brake. Let's start by entering BVR scan mode. Press the 2 key and notice that the HUD says BVR. Great. Now look down and to the right, just the right of your right knee, either using the mouse or the numpad key. Turn the radar on by pressing I. You will see a red button showing the radar is on. The I key. The HUD is like a top-down view of the airspace ahead. The radar range scale is currently set at 50 on the top left side of the HUD, i.e. out to 50 kilometers. You can change the range scales by pressing minus to zoom out to 500 kilometers, which is max range. And plus to zoom in to the 5 kilometer minimum. Set the radar range scale to 50 kilometers. Press spacebar to continue. In the center of the HUD, you will notice a rectangular box. This is your target designator, or TDC. You will use the TDC to lock targets displayed on the HUD. The HUD display is like a repeat of your radar. Move the TDC around using semicolon for up, period, or full stop for down, comma for left, and slash for right. Once you feel you've got the hang moving the TDC around, press the spacebar. You can see 6 dots along the bottom of the HUD. These are your air-to-air missiles. Press D. Notice that the 4 dots on the top row move down, and 2 dots on the bottom row now move up. Also notice that the 77 changes to a 27ER. This is because you are switching between 4 R77 AA-12 adder missiles and 2 larger ER-27 AA-10 extended range Alamo missiles. Press D a few times and watch the HUD change. Leave the 77 selected as your final press. Press spacebar to continue. Soon you will see a hostile aircraft coming directly at you at altitude. You can see it on your radar at around 50 kilometers. It is the line of 2 dash marks. 2 dash marks mean it's fighter sized. The beeping that has started is your RWR, telling you that you have a radar painting you. If you want to, turn the volume down by pressing right Alt and comma. Now move your TDC over the contact and press enter when it gets to full. Now let's look at the HUD, starting bottom left. The down arrow shows the target coming directly towards you. BVR we know. ATK means single target track mode. A is automatic radar range mode. The range scale will jump down as the locked target gets closer. RL, your radar is on. Top left are speeds. Yours are the larger numbers, 790. The target speed, 810, is above yours. Press spacebar to continue. Top right are altitudes. The target on top in small font, yours below and larger, both around 6,500 meters. Now, looking at the left side of the HUD again, along the inside of the range scale are 3 fat bars and a hollow arrow. These are key range indicators. The hollow arrow indicates the target range. The top fat bar is R-max and represents the max flight range of the R-77 missile, around 32 clicks. The middle bar is the RTR, better known as no escape zone. This represents the max range you can launch a missile and still expect to hit the target, even if it manoeuvres. The bottom bar is the R-min indication and lets you know the min range you can launch the missile and still expect to hit the target. Once the target arrow reaches the R-max bar, you will see an LA, launch authorization. This indication is in the middle of the HUD. Press spacebar. The range scale should jump down to 25 km any second. Wait until the target reaches the RTR, no escape indication, middle fat bar, around 13 km for the R-77, then press and hold the trigger on your joystick or press the spacebar to launch the missile. Fox 3.
Jumped off. Jeez.
There is a new target just beyond 50 km on the nose. Press D to ensure the R-27 ERO is selected. As before, slew the TDC over the new target flying away from you and lock it up and launch the missile. Fox 2.
It. I don't see it.
Well done. You have control. Those are the basics of using BVR air-to-air missiles. Put the radar range back out to 50 kilometers using the minus key. You have a train of evenly spaced F5s coming at you. Good luck. Press F10 to get the map up and see where they are in relation to you. Happy hunting.
launch time?
Fuel 1500. Fuel 800. Minimum speed. Minimum speed. Minimum speed. Fuel 500. Minimum speed.
Tracking him? Probably not. Too close. Ooh, it almost did.
Minimum
That's it.
speed.
Flight. Close formation.
You just went right over the airbase. There it is. You go down and check it out. That's funny. I wasn't expecting it to be this close. Looks just like the other one. looks good though. Alright, we'll go check this and that if I can find it. There it is.
Altitude, altitude.
Flight, go, echelon left.
Hill, copy.
so close to me. Right on the tippy tip of the detent on my throttle. I have to adjust it somehow. H2, wow. And then Al Assad. That's it. I don't know. I think they did some stuff to Mosul. Smokes like the F4. It's a smoker. Yeah, it sure is good. Oop, almost there. H2. usually don't.
Let me see your war face.
Roger, 745. Initial, Charlie Mike, bring it in, over. 05, been hot. Been hot, dude. I'm going down for long range. We're coming in danger close, everybody.